Research consistently shows that processed meats significantly increase the risk of type 2 diabetes. In fact, a notable Harvard study found that daily processed meat consumption was associated with a 46% greater risk of developing the condition. Now, for those already managing diabetes, certain processed meats can be particularly problematic for blood sugar control. Top 5 processed meats diabetics should avoid. Navigating dietary choices with diabetes can certainly feel overwhelming, but understanding which foods to limit is a crucial step towards better health. Processed meats, in particular, pose significant risks. So, let's dive into 5 types that individuals with diabetes should be especially wary of, along with some insights into why they are detrimental and what healthier alternatives you can choose. Number 1. Bacon and breakfast sausages. Now, many people enjoy bacon and breakfast sausages as a staple morning meal. However, for individuals managing diabetes, these items can present considerable health challenges. First off, their high sodium content is a primary concern. You see, excessive salt intake can elevate blood pressure, a condition often coexisting with diabetes, and this further strains cardiovascular health. It's really important to remember that managing blood pressure is critical for preventing diabetes-related complications. Then there are the preservation methods. For bacon and breakfast sausages, these often involve nitrates and nitrites. While these compounds do extend shelf life and enhance flavor, they've been linked to various health issues. When consumed, they can form nitrosamines, which are potentially carcinogenic and may contribute to increased inflammation and oxidative stress. These processes can actually worsen insulin resistance and diabetic complications. And it doesn't stop there. Beyond sodium and preservatives, many commercial bacon products and breakfast sausages contain hidden sugars. These sugars, often part of glazes, cures, or flavorings, can lead to unexpected spikes in blood glucose levels, making it harder for diabetics to maintain stable sugar readings. So it's absolutely essential to scrutinize labels for these added sugars, which can easily sabotage your efforts at glycemic control. Furthermore, the saturated fat levels in bacon and breakfast sausages are typically very high. Diets rich in saturated fats can impair insulin sensitivity. This means your body's cells don't respond as effectively to insulin, thereby leading to higher blood sugar levels. For diabetics whose insulin function may already be compromised, this is a significant concern for long-term health management. But the good news is, there are healthier breakfast protein alternatives available for those with diabetes. You might consider options like scrambled eggs with vegetables, Greek yogurt with a sprinkle of nuts, or lean turkey slices. Smoked salmon or a tofu scramble can also provide satisfying protein without the detrimental effects of processed breakfast meats, helping you start your day on a much healthier note. To really drive this point home, specific research underscores the risks associated with these breakfast meats. Studies have indicated that regular consumption of bacon and sausages is directly linked to a notable increase in the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. And for those already diagnosed, these meats can exacerbate the condition, making proactive avoidance a very wise strategy for better health outcomes. Number 2, deli and lunch meats. Next up, we have deli and lunch meats. These are often chosen for their convenience in sandwiches and salads, but they can be deceptive sources of sodium and preservatives, even those marketed as lean or healthy options. You might think sliced turkey, ham, or roast beef from the deli counter are good protein sources, but they are frequently laden with salt used in processing and curing. This can adversely affect blood pressure and fluid retention in individuals with diabetes. Let's talk about the processing methods. Those employed to create deli meats significantly alter their nutritional profile. Curing, smoking, salting, and the addition of various chemical preservatives and flavor enhancers can strip away natural nutrients and introduce harmful compounds. While these processes are designed to improve taste and shelf life, they often come at the cost of the meat's inherent health benefits, turning a potentially good protein source into something much less desirable for diabetics. It's also worth noting that regular consumption of deli meats even in seemingly modest amounts, has been linked to an increased risk of type 2 diabetes. For instance, studies suggest that an intake equivalent to just 2 slices of ham daily can elevate this risk. This really highlights how seemingly small, consistent dietary choices can accumulate to have a significant impact on metabolic health over time. So, awareness is crucial for both prevention and management. Now, when comparing different varieties of deli meats, like turkey, beef, and ham, it's important to note that while some may be leaner, the processing often equalizes the risks. Turkey breast might be lower in fat, but if it's heavily processed with sodium and nitrates, it can be just as problematic as fattier options like salami or bologna. The key here is to look beyond the type of meat to how it has been prepared and preserved. So, how can you make informed choices? Well, diabetics must become adept at reading nutrition labels on deli meat packages. Pay close attention to sodium content and aim for lower sodium varieties. Also, check for added sugars and the presence of nitrates or nitrites. Understanding these labels empowers you to select options that align better with your health needs, minimizing potential negative impacts on your blood sugar and cardiovascular system. And of course, there are healthier alternatives. Consider using freshly cooked and sliced chicken breast, turkey, or roast beef that you prepare at home. This way, you control the sodium and additives. Plant-based options like hummus, avocado, or grilled vegetables can also make excellent and nutritious fillings for sandwiches and wraps, providing fiber and essential nutrients without the risks of processed meats. Number 3, hot dogs and frankfurters. All right, let's talk about hot dogs and frankfurters. These are undeniably popular, especially at social gatherings and as a quick meal. However, their composition is often a cause for concern, particularly for individuals with diabetes. Many are made from a mixture of processed meat scraps, including pork, beef, and chicken, combined with fillers, binders, and flavorings. This essentially means they offer limited nutritional value and can be high in unhealthy fats. The sodium and preservative content in hot dogs is also typically excessive. High levels of sodium contribute to hypertension, which, as we know, is a common and dangerous complication for diabetics. Meanwhile, preservatives like sodium nitrite are linked to an increased risk of certain cancers and can negatively impact metabolic health. All these ingredients make hot dogs a poor choice for anyone focused on managing diabetes effectively. What's more, there's a significant connection between the consumption of processed meats like hot dogs and increased inflammation and insulin resistance. Chronic inflammation can impair the body's ability to use insulin properly, leading to elevated blood sugar levels. For diabetics, minimizing inflammatory foods is absolutely key to better glycemic control and reducing the risk of long-term complications. Several studies have demonstrated a pretty clear correlation between frequent hot dog consumption and an increased risk of diabetes complications. These can include serious issues like nerve damage, kidney disease, and eye problems. The cumulative effect of the unhealthy fats, sodium, and preservatives in hot dogs can unfortunately accelerate the progression of these debilitating conditions. Moreover, the impact of hot dogs on cardiovascular health is a major concern. This is because individuals with diabetes are already at a heightened risk for heart disease and stroke. The saturated fats and cholesterol found in many hot dogs can contribute to atherosclerosis, which is the hardening of the arteries, and can further compromise heart function, making them a particularly risky food choice. But there's some good news on this front too. Fortunately, there are increasingly available plant-based hot dog alternatives that can offer a similar taste and texture experience without the same health risks. Many are made from soy, pea protein, or vegetables, and can be lower in saturated fat and sodium. When choosing these alternatives, it's still important to read labels to ensure they fit your dietary needs. This offers a potentially safer option for enjoying a classic favorite. Number 4, pepperoni, salami, and cured meats. Moving on to number 4, Let's discuss pepperoni, salami, and similar cured meats. These are well known for their rich flavor, often making them popular additions to pizzas, sandwiches, and charcuterie boards. However, their high fat content and caloric density can be quite problematic for diabetics. Consuming these meats regularly can contribute to weight gain, which in turn can worsen insulin resistance and make blood sugar management more challenging. Think about the curing processes used to create these meats. They often involve high concentrations of salt, nitrates, and nitrites, all of which significantly increase diabetes risk factors. These substances can contribute to oxidative stress and inflammation, impairing pancreatic beta cell function. Those are the cells that produce insulin, and promoting the development or progression of type 2 diabetes. Also, the consumption of pepperoni, salami, and other cured meats has been linked to an increased risk of metabolic syndrome. Now, metabolic syndrome is a cluster of conditions, including high blood pressure, high blood sugar, unhealthy cholesterol levels, and abdominal fat, that collectively increase the risk of heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. And these meats contain several components that can exacerbate these conditions. For diabetic patients, managing cholesterol levels is absolutely crucial, and these types of processed meats can have a detrimental impact. They are often high in saturated fats and cholesterol, which can raise LDL, or bad cholesterol levels. This contributes to the buildup of plaque in arteries and increases the risk of cardiovascular events, a primary concern for individuals with diabetes. Another point to consider is that the concentrated flavor of these meats often leads to challenges with portion control. It's quite easy to consume a significant amount of unhealthy fats, sodium, and calories in a relatively small serving of pepperoni or salami. This overconsumption can quickly derail efforts to maintain a healthy diet and manage blood sugar levels effectively. But don't worry, healthier toppings for pizzas and sandwiches are readily available for diabetics looking to avoid cured meats. You could consider using grilled chicken, turkey breast, fish, or a variety of roasted vegetables like bell peppers, mushrooms, and onions. Even plant-based crumbles or seasoned tofu can provide a savory element without the associated health risks of processed cured meats. Number 5, processed meat snacks. Finally, at number 5, we have processed meat snacks. In our busy modern lifestyles, convenience is often key, leading many to reach for things like jerky, meat sticks, and biltong. While these are frequently marketed as high-protein options, they can harbor hidden ingredients that are detrimental to individuals managing diabetes. It's really important to look beyond just the protein claim and examine the full nutritional picture. A significant issue with many of these processed meat snacks is the presence of hidden sugars and carbohydrates in their marinades, glazes, and flavorings. Ingredients like corn syrup, dextrose, or maltodextrin are frequently added to enhance taste and texture. The problem is, they can cause an unwelcome rise in blood glucose levels, complicating diabetes management for unsuspecting consumers. Artificial additives, including MSG, artificial colors, and various chemical preservatives, are also common in these products. While their direct impact on blood glucose can vary, some individuals report sensitivities, and generally speaking, a diet high in artificial ingredients is not conducive to optimal health, particularly for those with chronic conditions like diabetes. Let's also touch on marketing tactics. These often position meat snacks as protein-rich and healthy alternatives to other snack foods. And while they do contain protein, this can create a sort of health halo, distracting consumers from the high sodium, sugar, and preservative content. Diabetics really need to be discerning and not be swayed by an incomplete nutritional message. Relying on processed meat snacks can also contribute to unhealthy snacking patterns overall. They may displace more nutritious whole food choices that offer fiber, vitamins, and minerals without the added sugars and sodium. Developing a preference for these highly processed items can make it harder to appreciate and choose healthier, more balanced snack options down the line. But, as always, there are good alternatives. Fortunately, there are many diabetes-friendly protein snack options available. A small handful of unsalted nuts or seeds, a hard-boiled egg, a A serving of plain Greek yogurt with berries, edamame, which are steamed soybeans, or even a small portion of cottage cheese can provide quality protein and other nutrients. These choices don't have the downsides of processed meat snacks and can help support stable blood sugar levels. Understanding the research. So let's take a moment to understand the research behind all of this. The connection between processed meat consumption and an increased risk of type 2 diabetes is actually well documented through numerous scientific studies conducted worldwide. Major research initiatives, including long-term cohort studies from prestigious institutions like Harvard School of Public Health, have consistently found that individuals who regularly consume processed meats face a significantly higher likelihood of developing this chronic condition. And these findings are robust, holding true across diverse populations. Now, you might be wondering why processed meats pose a greater risk than unprocessed meats. Well, the reasons are multifaceted. The preserving agents, such as sodium nitrite and nitrate, are key culprits. These compounds can lead to the formation of N-nitroso compounds in the body, which are known to be toxic to pancreatic beta cells. Those are the cells responsible for insulin production. Furthermore, processed meats are often high in sodium, which, as we've discussed, can contribute to hypertension and insulin resistance. The high heat used in some processing can also create advanced glycation end products, or AGEs, which promote oxidative stress and inflammation. For instance, Finnish research highlighted a particularly striking statistic. It identified that individuals with the highest intake of processed meats had approximately a 50% greater risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to those with the lowest intake. This significant increase really underscores the potent impact these foods can have on metabolic health, serving as a strong warning for those at risk or already managing diabetes. And importantly, the link between processed meat and diabetes risk demonstrates global consistency. Studies from North America, Europe, and Asia have all yielded similar conclusions, regardless of varying background dietary patterns or lifestyles. This widespread agreement among researchers significantly strengthens the recommendation to limit processed meat intake, both as a public health measure and as a personal strategy for diabetes prevention and management. Healthier protein. Alternatives. Now for some good news, let's talk about healthier protein alternatives. Making shifts in your protein sources can significantly benefit diabetes management and your overall health. Plant-based proteins such as nuts like almonds and walnuts, and legumes including lentils, chickpeas, and beans are excellent choices. In fact, research suggests that substituting these for red meat can be associated with as much as a 30% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. This is primarily due to their high fiber content, healthy fats, and beneficial phytonutrients. Dairy proteins also offer a healthier alternative to processed and red meats. Options like plain Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, and milk can certainly be part of a diabetes-friendly diet. Studies have indicated that replacing servings of red meat with dairy products may lower the risk of type 2 diabetes by up to 22%. Just remember to choose unsweetened and low-fat versions where possible to maximize the benefits. Fish and seafood are also highly recommended protein sources. This is especially true for fatty fish rich in omega-3 fatty acids, such as salmon, mackerel, sardines, and trout. Omega-3s possess potent anti-inflammatory properties, which are particularly beneficial for individuals with diabetes who often experience chronic inflammation. Regular consumption can support heart health and may even improve insulin sensitivity. When it comes to choosing poultry, opt for minimally processed varieties like skinless chicken or turkey breast. Preparing these by baking, grilling, poaching, or stir-frying, rather than frying or coating them in heavy sauces, helps retain their health benefits. These lean proteins are versatile and can easily replace processed meats in many dishes, providing quality protein without those associated risks. Incorporating these healthier protein alternatives into your daily meals can be quite simple and delicious. For example, Try adding beans or lentils to soups, stews, and salads. Use grilled fish or chicken in sandwiches and wraps instead of deli meats. Or snack on a handful of nuts or a serving of Greek yogurt. You'll find that these small changes can collectively make a big difference in managing diabetes and enhancing your well-being. So, to wrap things up, while completely eliminating processed meats from your diet may seem challenging for some, the extensive body of research clearly indicates that significantly reducing consumption is a powerful step towards better health. Aiming for less than one serving per week can really help optimize well-being, especially for those managing diabetes or at risk of developing the condition. What processed meat has been hardest for you to give up? We'd love for you to share your experiences and substitution ideas in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more evidence-based diabetes management tips and recipes that don't sacrifice flavor while protecting your health.